traders, how we doing today? Today I thought I would do this video on the new S9 swing basket trading system. This is version 1, and since it has entered into a trade, I figured this would be a good time to show you how it's working. What I have created is a RSI basket. This is version 2, which will also be coming out shortly. But I've created an RSI basket, and in that basket there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pairs, I guess. And this was picked using the RSI 1 hour. We're looking for overbought, oversold areas in which to do a swing trade. And you can see the graph so far we're doing all right. And also in this new version of version 2, you can see the heat map looks a little different. We'll get into that later on when we do a version 2 video. But I wanted to do this one right now since we are into a trade. It has opened all 13 trades, and as you can see, some of them have hit the add to trade point. Some of them are 2, some of them are 1. Now the reason some of them are only 1, they didn't do an add to, was because we are in pull down on that one. It will not add to a trade that's negative. So it did not add to this one, it did not add to this one, because they were negative at the time when it hit the add to trade. And this is the add to trade line right here, and you can see it has gone through that. When it did hit that, it added to all the trades that were positive. The negative ones, like I said, there's 2 of them. I do not add to the negative trades. And so far we are up 324 pips, and we have not even gotten into a half a day yet. You can see here it started around a little after 1. That would have been 1 o'clock in the morning Central Standard Time, and right now we're at about 10:30, so we've been doing pretty good. Drawdown has been fairly decent, but this was picking the pairs with an overbought or oversold on the RSI, and we'll get into these settings later when we talk about the version 2, how you set those. But we want to talk about this right now, and as you can see, we're down here, and this is our RSI basket, and it has 13 pairs in it. And what we did, we took a trade right here. You can see where the vertical and the horizontal yellow lines meet. It took the trade at the open of this candle, and it was a confirmed swing point from up here. Here's the swing point. It takes 3 closed candles to give me a confirmed swing point. I know some traders will enter sooner, but I'd rather be safe than jumping in and out of trades. So this is a little safer. You can still get in too soon, but it works okay. So 3 closed candles. We enter at the open of the next candle right here, and you can see we entered right there and we went on. Now the gray box you can see here is a 24 candle window. That's basically where it is looking for a high and a low. Now as this price, if this price went lower, when we get a new candle, and if this price went lower than this previous candle, this low would move down to the next candle, and of course this window would move over, and it would move down to there and up to here. And so this big gray box keeps moving with the candles. 24 candles. It's like I say, if you count them, there's 24 candles there. And what the red box is within here is what I call a basket trailing stop. It's just basically there for a safety factor. You can set that in the properties of the indicator. Get them over here. These are basically the settings you have. And here it is right here. Use trailing stop. Set to true. And I got it set at 50%. So what that means is this red box height will be 50% of the gray box height, and it will trail. So as the price moves down past the red box here, if it does while we're watching it here, if it goes past here, this red box will move down, and your exit is up here at the opposite side of the red box, which is your trailing basket stop loss. Now, of course, you can set that at less than 50% if you want, but it's basically just to save your account from a disaster. In case you go back, you can set it tighter, but remember, these things move around a lot, so you got to be careful there. And in the settings here are the settings. You have to name the basket. This basket is the RSI basket. You can see the name over here. You got to make sure you put that in there so it loads up the correct pairs from the basket you created back in the dashboard. When you create the dashboard, remember you got to give your basket a name. In this case, we just called it RSI. So we put RSI in there so it loads up the correct pairs, so it knows which pairs to trade. And we also have the use opposite swing exit set to true, which means when this swing exit, if this is going to be a swing exit, when it creates 3 closed candles and is a confirmed swing exit, it will exit the trade. All of these will exit. And use the fast opposite. All that is it just requires this candle to be closed. So right now, if the next candle opened, it would actually close all these trades if I was using the fast one, because it just looks for this one that's got the swing point on it to be closed, and then at the open of the next candle it will exit the trade, whereas the regular one, which I am using, requires 3 closed candles. Like I said up here, it requires these 3, and then at the next one it will exit. And the trailing stop is just what I was talking about, this red area. It will keep moving down as the price moves. The price has got to move past the bottom of the red. When it does that, this red box will also trail it. And remember, that is 50% of the gray box. So however how many pips the gray box is, this is half of it, 50%. You can change that. And now we got the add to trade. I got set to true, which is this red line right here. It uses basically a fractal to add to the trade. Once it breaks through that add to trade, the price, this gray line, has to go through there. It will add to the trade, and like it says, it will only add to the ones that are green. So at this point, if we were going to try to do an add to trade, say this red line was down here and the price went through it, it would only add to these ones that are green. It would not add on to the red ones. And like I said before, it did not add on to the Canadian yen or the Aussie New Zealand because they were red at the time of when it went through this line. And as far as what we're going to add on, this is 1, which means the number of lots or whatever your setting is back in the dashboard. So if you got your dashboard set at 0.01 lots, it will add 0.01 lots to a trade. So when it opens up another trade from the add-on, it will place that trade at 0.01 lots. And you can raise this if you want to add on more than the 0.01. You can change this to the multiplier. And use Marty. I got set to true. It's kind of like a martingale. So first add on, we'll add it on at your normal lot setting size. So if you got it set at 0.01, it will do an add on of 0.01 lots for all your pairs that gets added to. You got Marty turned on. The second time it hits the add-on, it will increase the number. So the first add-on would be, like, say, at 0.01. Second add-on would be 0.02. Third add-on would be 0.03. First add-on would always be the same as your lot setting size and what this is set at here. But then Marty, once he kicks in, it's a multiplier. It adds 1 to everything. So like I said, first add-on 0.01, then with Marty on, it goes 0.02, 0.03, 0.04. Keeps going that way. It adds 1 each time. And let's see, these are all the same as we've talked about before. Alerts, if you want to just use the alert mode, you can set that to alert mode, and you can it'll just alert you, and you can come and look at it. If you think the trade is going to be a good one, you can click the alert off and go ahead and it'll take the trades if the signal's still there. Let's close this out for a minute. Okay, and basically these are the same where I talked about alerts on or off. On dock is where you cannot take this chart if you got multiple monitors, and on dock it and put it on another chart. I do that a lot of times if I got 2 or 3 baskets running and I don't want to click through the tabs down here to look at them. I'll undock them and put one of the basket trades on each monitor, on a different monitor, that I can see all of them at the same time. And I don't have to use the Windows tile, which sometimes if you get too many charts, they get pretty small. And we got draw take profit lines where, say, once you get into a trade and you can add a take profit line to it, but you have to have an open trade. You cannot add a take profit line to just a chart that there's no trade open on. So if I click on this now, you may have to go down here and find it, scrunch up a little bit. It puts it down out of the way so it doesn't interfere with anything. And you can drag it and say, okay, let's pretend I'm going to hit this low over here. So you can put it on there. Now you got a take profit line. But in this case, I don't need one. I'm not going to use it, so I can turn it off. And I'm not going to click this. This is the stop loss line. When you click it once, the first click, when you turn it on, just like the draw take profit line, the button will turn red, and you will get a red line. In this case, it will be up here someplace, just like the take profit was down here because we're in a short trade. You will get a red stop loss line up here. Then what you do is you grab that, double click it and grab it and put it where you want it to be. When it's red and the button is red, it means it's a fixed stop loss. It will stay at that point. You can still move it with your cursor by double clicking it, and move it where you want to move it. Now if you want it to be a trailing stop, you just click the button again. Now you got a trailing stop loss, and it changes to an orange color, like you see I got here now, because I got it set for trailing. Originally I was up here someplace, and it has been following down. So now it will trail at whatever value you had previously set that fixed stop loss at. So once you kick it in the trail, it will maintain that and start to trail. Right now we have to wait for the price to get down below the red area before it moves down some more. So that's the trailing stop. Now if you want to change the amount that it trails, you can't just double click it and move it, because see how it bounces back to where it was? It knows what it was set at previously to trail at. So if you want to change the trailing amount, what you got to do is turn it off, which we can do here. Click that, we'll get rid of it. Now I'm going to turn it back on, and like I said, see, there's your red line. And if we put it we'll just put it there for the, well, let's put it right there. How's that? Put it there. Okay, now it should continue to trail at this amount when I turn on the trailing. So I turn on the trailing, wait for a tick to come in. Okay, now it will trail at that amount we just set it at. So if this price goes down, it should move down with the price. See it move down a little bit there? It's coming down with the price because it's trailing at that amount. But you see as the price went up, it did not move. This is a trailing stop loss. Now one thing I want to mention, you notice right here, you notice this wick. I've mentioned this in the past. These wicks can be deceiving, because they're really not what they show you they are. Like the price never got down here, because this is the way these baskets are created, the way that indicator creates them. These wicks are not real most of the time. Once in a while you might find one that's okay, but like here, and the reason I can tell it's not real is because you notice the red trailing stop box never was down there, and this gray line will follow the bottom of this red box, or it will determine where the bottom of that red box was. So you know the price was here at the bottom of the red box. That's as far as the price ever got down. It never went down here. This is a fake area. So I just want you to remember that. Now as the price moves down past the red box will move down, because remember I said it is a trailing basket stop loss at 50% of the gray box. So just remember this. So when you're placing take profits or stop losses, these wicks, like down here and at the top of candles and the bottom, can be fake. They may not even be real. Like in this case here, we got, let's say 30 pips. You got a 30 pip space in there that where the price never was. And if you want to see how this works, create a basket on a 1 minute chart and then just sit and watch the price. You'll see the price go up and down in a certain range, and all of a sudden the high or the low will jump up, but the price never went there. And this is what we watch to do our calculations on getting in and out on things, is this price line right here. Remember, on a regular chart we call it, this would be the bid. but on this chart we just call it it's just basically a number, a price, because these numbers are not real over here either. They're just a combination of when the offline chart is made. So, and looks like we're getting some pullback. So we may be at the end. And of course I would exit if it hit the stop loss up here, would take exit, or right now I got it set at fast exit, slow exit, so I got to wait for 3 closed candles in this point to remain where it is. And like I said, if all of a sudden the price comes down and moves past this point, the gray box will expand to match that low. Same way if we get a new candle and the new candle comes down past this point, this gray box will move down. So then the gray box would be from down here up to this last high swing point. Remember, this is a 24 candle box. And we're doing fairly good. See, we're up 309 pips, and we still got these two are still in the red. This one here has gone red a little bit on us. We did add to this one when it was green, but now it has turned red a little bit on us. Okay, also if you open up a chart and you like the way it looks, a basket chart, and say there's no trades open at the present time, you can click the buy all or the sell all, and it will automatically open the trades on the pairs you got over here. Just remember, you have to have a trading session open, you got to have the buttons selected back here, and you got to have the TS turned on in order to get it to take a trade back here. It doesn't do any good to send the signal back to the dashboard if you don't have the dashboard turned on. But this one's doing pretty good. It's been up to 428 pips in less than half a day with a drawdown of, what is that? Looks like an 885. And at present time we're up 320, so this one is doing pretty good. And we'll see how it does. May even want to tighten up the stop loss. If you want to tighten up the stop loss, here you can just turn it off. Shrink this a little bit so I get it, see it. Turn it back on. And we could even move them down. Let's say we move them right there. Well, just above the line. Move them above the line. And we'll turn it back on the trail. Now he's trailing. So when the price goes down, he'll follow down. And basically there we have a 83 pip trailing stop, which isn't too bad. Remember, you got 13 pairs over here. And of course, if you just want to close it down right now and take your money to the bank, just hit the close all and close her down. Now, if you wanted to manually add to the trades, just do that back here in the dashboard. So you can look over here and say, oh, he's green, I'm going to do an add to it, hit the sell. He's green, hit that sell, hit this sell. That one's red, leave him alone. So you could add to it just by going back here and hitting the sell or the buy button, depending on which way you're going. These buttons, remember, always are active, whether you have any buttons selected or not. You hit them, they're going to do whatever you tell it to do, no matter what. Also remember, you notice right now we're up to 24 trades, and our maximum allowed is 28. So if we get to 28 by doing add-ons, you will not be able to do any more add-ons from the chart. because you have reached your maximum of 28. But these buttons you could always add on with. Remember, these always override everything. You click these, they do whatever you clicked. Same way with the close all button down here. You click that, it shuts everything down. So in this case, a lot of times when you're doing add-ons with baskets, if you're using the add-on function, you'll probably want to set this number higher. I just forgot to crank it up. Usually I set it up at 100. It might seem like a lot of trades, but you never know. You start adding on, sometimes that's where you can get into some good pips. Like you see, we're up to 315 pips here, and we've been up as high as 428. So, of course, when you're doing this kind of stuff, it depends on how big your account is. This is a demo account. It's at $48,000, so we don't have a problem there. But if you got a smaller account, you know, adjust your lot size, keep it small to be on the safe side, because you could end up with a lot of trades. Okay, so I think that about covers everything on here. We'll see how this one turns out, if it comes back and hits my stop loss, or if we continue on. See what happens here. See what the chart here looks like. That's what the chart looks like. Okay, that wraps up this one.